Physical media is dead. Dead is what I said. We gon' solve this mystery. But it's DRM. You better tell your friends you bought a license key. Physical media is dead. Dead is what I said. We gon' solve this mystery. But it's DRM. You better tell your friends you bought a license key.
For the last couple of years, there's
here we
been
go.
a lot of discussion about the all-digital future. The fact
What are you talking about, man? I've been talking about this for the past few years, man. How about you give me my credit? GameStop with another W. I told you that these companies were pushing for live service and subscription. I told you that we was in the digital age, but yet we was at the infancy stage. But yet you people didn't want to listen. We got limited one, We got Airbox. Stop putting the game on disc for PlayStation is. What are you talking about? The PS5 disk drive, you got to synchronize it online. That is DRM. Matter of fact, that's even worse than what Microsoft's doing because at least it's the console. And if you keep the console in its good working condition, well, guess what? It will still work like an ordinary Xbox. But if your disk drive gives out, well, guess what? There goes your whole PS5 library, man. You got Mystic right on his knees. How could you do this to me, Sony? I trusted you.
eventually games will not physically exist. There won't be discs, there won't be cartridges, there won't be a way to actually own your stuff. Everything you buy is basically just going to be rented. If you lose your login information, if you lose your account, if you get banned, the hundreds, even thousands of games you have could just be vanished into the ether.
And whose fault is that? Oh, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. You know, the ones that pick up these discounted digital games, I don't care how much they cost, bro. You still went out there and supported it. Matter of fact, I mean, at least the vast majority of gamers consume their products digitally. I have a copy of RoboCop, right? I'm going to sit there and tell you guys as to how important this is. And yet I seen the digital version on Xbox for $7. Now, mind you, I have it for PS5. But I'm like, man, why would I spend $30, $40 for another physical copy of a game if I could just play it right now for $7? Okay? Do you get what I'm saying? This is why digital's taking over. And like I said, to a lot of people, digital's more important. And I'm going to explain because I have friends that have children. And, children, they break things. I mean, if they break the console, you just buy another one. But they didn't break your individual games. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if you had a house fire and everything burned down in your home and you lost your PlayStation and everything, people could say, you know what? I can buy it. And this is always that silver lining. I can go buy another one and access my digital catalog. So digital does have its benefits. Okay? Nobody's going to sit there and deny it. I just prefer to own my physical media if the option is still around. But still, I'm not going to sit there and cry and complain about something that I already know what's going on. If you don't like it, well, go retro at this point.
To me, it's more than that. People have been discussing the all-digital future a lot. It seems like it's here. Nintendo has now published a statement basically saying that they're about to go all digital.
Ha ha! GameStop with another W. Didn't I tell you guys that Nintendo would also be going in that direction? I had Nintendo fanboys arguing with me, saying that Nintendo won't. I'm telling you, the Switch 2 is the last physical console y'all gonna get. You really think Nintendo's gonna put $100 gigabyte Legend of Zeldas on a cartridge for you? Do you understand how expensive these games would be? Like, this is what you guys are not taking consideration, man. It's the fact that they got to pay for these manufacturing fees. I already knew when the cartridge limitations of what Nintendo could do with cartridges goes over those boundaries or those means, that this was inevitably going to happen to them. I mean, you guys already had the proof when third party was like, yo, we're trying to put these games on the cartridge, but obviously our games are 80 gigs. It's either we have to compress it. That's why a lot of Switch 1 versions look bad, which is not going to happen with Switch 2 because you know why? It's using game key cards. It could use the power of the hardware, okay? But if you told them to have to compress the game and remove assets to make the game look worse just to fit it on a cartridge, well, guess what? Maybe Street Fighter 6 won't look as good as it does on the Switch 2. And that's probably why Nintendo made the tough decision of removing that thing and saying, you know what, just let third party just choose to do what they want.
Has hinted that you don't actually own your games, that this is just some sort of service. You're basically...
GameStop want another W.
A game for $70, $80, $100. You don't really have it. You can't really customize it. You can't really mod it. It is still...
on PC you can.
their art, their property, their stuff that they're allowing you to have. And I have to say that I'm more than just annoyed. I'm more than just nervous about this. I have this seething anger towards the all-digital future because it seems to undermine the foundation of video games. I've been gaming since the very start. Since consoles have existed, since it was possible to sit down and play a game, I've been playing stuff.
Well, guess what? Things change throughout time. I mean, people used to get their music through vinyl records and CDs and MP3s and all that. And guess what? Things have evolved over time. Okay? Like, you would be a fool to think that that every decade that we go through, that something is not inevitably going to change.
All the way back on the Atari.
Here we go. Atari 2600. And do you still have any of those games? Because you can play them all through the Atari Flashback emulation with the ROMs. You don't even need all those games, man. You can emulate those games, put an EverDrive or something in there, and boom, there you go. You don't need those cartridges. Like, you see what I'm saying? This is hoarding. And I own a lot of video games, but man, like I'm telling you, I got rid of my whole N64 collection. I put the EverDrive 64. I play all my games as long as I got the Authentic controller cords and cables in the console. I'm all good. I'm not paying $80 to $100 for no N64 cartridge for something that this little thing does for the same on a micro SD card. See, this is what y'all don't understand. I've evolved. Matter of fact, all the PS2 games that I own, I don't even use because I use them through OPL now. So it's like, yeah, I bought them, but it's like, why did I buy them? You feel me? So it's just like, what's the point? I'm not saying it's not nice to have these things. I mean, if I'm playing on this station and somebody come over and they want to play on that one, I'll be like, oh, okay, go grab one of the discs. So we still have that convenience, but still, like to act like digital is like so bad with when you have actually benefited from digital, which was Game Pass, that's how you was able to try out Hellblade 2, is asinine to me.
The Sesame Street game on the original Atari 2600, some of my favorite games, stuff that still sticks in my mind. It's weird to consider the fact that these games, like this is the original Final Fantasy for NES. This is still playable. It's still enjoyable.
And guess what? I can play it better in the Pixel HD remaster. Ain't nobody gonna want to find an old TV with some old RF cables to plug that experience. You gotta understand, bro. See, for all the people that keep hating on this idea, I'm not saying because I still have my CRTs, but I'm just saying you guys have to understand. To experience retro gaming, you still have to have some of the retro things like the CRT and all that. Don't think you're going to plug that up on an HD and it's going to look as good as you remember, because it ain't. Those games was programmed to be worked on a TV. And to expect people to still have these things. Oh, hey guys, I got Final Fantasy. I paid $100 for a CIB version of Final Fantasy on my NES when I could have just downloaded a ROM and played the same exact thing.
Physical games.
Oh, here we go. Put it down.
The past, the history of all gaming is just being deleted because...
How so? What are you talking about being deleted? If anything, digital is what's helped preserving gaming. You're like, games to explain to me. That's the reason why people can download ROMs and emulators, right? That's digital. What are you talking about? You ever heard of, oh, we lost the code to that? What you mean? We lost the code to that. I don't know what happened. We was working on some new projects. We just lost the code. Oh, snap. Oh, don't worry, Nintendo. You lost the code? I could just download it through an emulator. Well, there you go. There goes your code. All saved through the internet. All archived for anybody that wants to go out there and play it and access it for themselves. And you guys have a problem with digital. You understand that if we didn't have digital at all, you wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, the poor little Timmy that loses all his games in a house fire wouldn't be able to go back and access his games to a PC or Steam Deck or whatever PC architecture you decide to use if digital wasn't the future of gaming. Okay, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? But the problem is, companies, they don't seem to care, man. And I told people they're going to push their games to a subscription service. It's going to get to a point they're not even going to want you to buy the games, bro. And this is why Microsoft is setting it up this way. This is why I've been warning you guys about this. It's getting to the point where you're going to see the value proposition of not wanting to own your games in the first place. And that's why Nintendo and Sony dudes have a problem with Xbox. That's why the whole issue. If only you guys could explain it the way that I can, that maybe people would fully understand. But Microsoft ain't the only one doing that. Sega's doing it. There's going to be EA. There's going to be a lot of companies doing this, bro. Even Nintendo's doing it in some form, even to their own community. What do you guys don't get, bro? It's right in front of your faces.
It's not profitable enough. Let's just start with that. Let's actually take a look at some headlines. Let's talk about this because I think this really does come down to start with that. Let's actually take a look at some headlines. Let's talk about this because I think this really does come down to greed more than laziness.
What are you talking about? What do you mean greed? You people ain't buying it, bro. We seen the metrics. Y'all are not buying physical media like y'all claiming.
These companies are deleting the past because it's not worth keeping them around. It's because they can't perpetually monetize you, and that's the goal.
That's funny because last time I checked, they did it with Final Fantasy Pixel Collection, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. They've done it with a lot of it. Matter of fact, they're doing it to you on PlayStation with Gears of War Reloaded. So what are you talking about? As far as I'm concerned, Microsoft is out here milking your money off remasters now at this point. Like, what are y'all talking about? Oh, they losing my history. What do you mean? Well, then go PC then, if it's that much of an issue for you.
Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Dreamcast Guy.
Yeah, nobody
Hope you're having a great day. Physical thing that you put into your system and it installs and it plays. A lot of these games don't even require an install. They don't even have a day one update. You literally can boot it up on a plane and perfectly play it from start to finish.
Even that's incorrect. Y'all like, what? What do you mean, GameStop? What are you talking about? That is true. No, it's not. Because if your system breaks and you need to get another one, well, guess what? What do you think you have to do? Yeah, you might say it might work on another Nintendo Switch, but who's going to get rid of their Switches knowing that that's the only option they can use for their own sort of physical media? So that also means in the inevitable future, these things are going to be sought after, and most collectors are not going to want to get rid of them, knowing that, which means that you won't get access to one. That's how things become retro. That's how things become like, where people can't buy them. I'm not saying it's going to happen because they did sell a lot of Switches and, obviously a lot of people will get over it and just get rid of their old Switches in favor for the Switch 2. But still, only the smart consumer is going to know this.
But now, Nintendo is basically saying they're done with that. And that's their official statement. So this is what they've recently been publishing. Like, oh, if you don't want a game card key, here's a handy-dandy symbol to tell you that what you're buying doesn't actually have game data on it. Now, a lot of people have been very upset by this because President of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser, says, in the immediate future, physical games are still part of our business. Game key cards are a way of publishing partners to bring more content to the platform.
Yeah.
Now, immediate future is the biggest red flag of all time.
We know that. Because that means if Nintendo games get bigger than whatever cartridges that they're using, that even Nintendo themselves will get rid of physical media. And I think this is why everybody's in an uproar about it. We understand it. Like I said, Nintendo, I don't think they make games big enough than 64 gigabytes. So this whole strategy they got now, which they will raise the prices, mind you, I'm telling you, it's fine for them. But as time goes on with Switch 3s and Switch 4s or whatever Nintendo decides to do for the inevitable future, well, guess what? Those days is over. Don't think Nintendo is going to make a 120 gigabyte game and put it on and make a 120 gigabyte cartridge solely for these games. I don't think they're going to be mass producing that. You do understand how expensive that would be? Like, they're not doing that, bro. I'm telling you, it's digital. It's over. You guys have lost the war.
But he says, yeah, for the immediate future, that's our plan. It means stuff's about to just be canceled. I mean, 100%. If they say, like, if you're working a job, if you're going
But then I don't understand why you game on PlayStation, because your whole console's digital. What do you mean? Your disk drive, the Pro that you bought, you can't even play or use the games on it unless you synchronize the drive online. So I don't understand how you hate the PS, like you dislike Nintendo, but you like the PS5. Do you actually think you own your games on PS5, bro? You can look up videos of people saying, oh, I can't use these games unless I synchronize the drive online. So what are we doing here? What is the point? What is the arguments of what you guys are saying that y'all doing? If anything, y'all paying more money for physical media for no apparent reason.
Now, 60% of the Nintendo Switch 2 library is not physically there. And I think they're doing this because they want to charge you $80 for the game, $90, $100.
Now my problem with that is the fact that you got companies charging these prices and you're not putting the game on the cartridge. That is my problem. It's like, if you're going to charge more, then give us more. Do you get what I'm saying? As consumers, Hitman was never even on a CD, I don't think. I think that's an online-only game type of ordeal. But I'm just saying, like, you feel me? Like with Doom Dark Ages, for example. It's like, bro, really, Microsoft? You put $70 for games, and you still can't put the game on a bigger capacity disc. It's just another layer they have to print, or maybe they have an installation disc and then put the game. No, I think you can fit within 100 gigabytes. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, it actually could, like every other game, and they decided not to. Now, I think that is wrong. I think Sonic Shadow Generation. I think these games in particular are wrong. You know what I mean? Especially Bravely Default. You know what I mean? It's like you're paying more and you're getting less. It's crazy. It really doesn't make sense.
Charge you as much as possible. And part of this is that they don't want to physically print it. Actually, making cartridges does cost. Some of the rough numbers are that it's $15 a cartridge. They want to make... They never drop prices. Games are $60 forever. One of the games that's coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 at launch is a $70 edition of Breath of the Wild. And to me, that's an absolute scam. These companies, though, they all want to follow in Nintendo's footsteps. They want to make it.
What are you talking about, bro? I don't understand how PlayStation fanboys keep talking about $70 Nintendo footsteps when PlayStation did it first. What are you talking about? If anything, Nintendo followed PlayStation's footsteps. You know what, bro?
You pay full price forever. For Assassin's Creed, for Call of Duty, nothing goes on sale ever.
Well, there you go. The same guy. But hold on. But then you go as far to tell people that I buy games, and then you have a problem with buying games. What are we doing here, bro? Okay, but it's getting expensive. They ain't gonna go up to price. You know, because I got to keep my AC on low. And all of a sudden, you talking about these games are too expensive?
And if there is no resale market, there's no competition. You can just keep that price high forever. And if you don't like it, you'll just deactivate.
Games to one another. I told you guys this. This is why they're raising the price of everything. I told you they're no longer catering to the guy that says, I'm going to wait 3 years to pick up an Xbox and pick up their games for $5 to $10 at a bargain bin. I'm going to do it with PS5. I'm going to do it with... I told y'all this. Games to one another W. People know that I've told y'all that they're no longer catering. If you don't buy your console at launch, well, guess what? Your console's going up. You don't buy your games the way you're supposed to, then guess what? The games are going up. I'm not defending this. I'm just telling you this is the strategy that they're using. That's why y'all like, oh, well, Nintendo's putting at $450, but I'm hearing that it's going to be $600 later. Well, there you go, you big dummy. So go out there and support these anti-consumer practices right now as Nintendo and everybody else want you to. Because that's the whole vision.
Activate your copy.
Ha ha.
This stuff does genuinely start to make me nervous.
But you're a real gamer. How could you defend this? Like, this man provides no substance. So I'm going to finish the video with my, Gamesters approval. What do y'all want, man? What are y'all expecting? It is what it is, bro. If you don't like it, well, hey, there it is. I mean, you can still get your hustle on, get your ROMs up, give it everything you need.
Game, we're working on all sorts of projects.
Which is funny because Division is an online-only game.
Choose it someday to shut these games down, you don't get a refund. Even if you did pay for the Crew or the Crew 2, those games are just gone. When they get
or even Friday the 13th.
We don't owe you because we own you.
They own you. You hear that? We own you. And y'all sitting there console warring where y'all all could be banding together, Xbox, PlayStation, everybody. You guys would all rather fight amongst each other. And you know what? And you know what the big three are doing? I'll tell you what they're doing. Bunch of dummies out here fighting against each other for no reason when the real master is the one controlling you. You guys ain't nothing but a bunch of corporate slaves in your mind. You got Microsoft and all the slave masters whipping you fanboys into shape. And you think that, oh, they love me, when in reality, it's just your masters. That's all it is. They just controlling you. You big old dummy.
These games do make me concerned. I am getting increasingly scared about where this is going to go, even in the next 2 to 5 years. I'm a big believer that Elden Ring is one of the best games ever made.
I'm done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Physical media is dead. I've told you. You guys know you heard it here first. We're at its infancy stage, and it's only getting worse, as you guys can see. It is what it is. What do you people want? Y'all gonna boycott it? Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we know what Nintendo's doing. We're gonna boycott the Switch, too. Massively pre-order the console. Even Nintendo fans have gone as far to say that game key cards ain't as bad. You know what, bro? Why are we even talking, man? Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video and have a good day. Peace out.